The music stopped before I even realized why. Not the whole orchestra, just a hesitation, a skipped beat, strings hanging in air like a throat that forgot how to swallow. It was his voice that cut through next, her father. The man in the black suit that cost more than my yearly salary once did. The man who sat at the head of corporations, who believed himself the head of every room he entered, including mine. "Take off those silly medals, disgraceful." He didn't whisper, he projected. He wanted the guests, 280 of them, dressed like shareholders, not witnesses to love, to hear. I stood there, chest heavy with the weight of metal I earned under fire, with blood that never dried from my memory. He called it silly. I didn't move. His eyes narrowed. The room leaned in. Then came the sound, the slap. Not loud, but sharp enough. My cheek stung. My pride didn't. I saw my best man's hand move before I registered it, steel wrapped in human skin. He caught the CEO's wrist mid-air as if arresting a crime. And then he said 8 words. 8 words that would drag every secret in this room to the surface. The entire hall stood. Her father's face drained pale. And I simply watched. The moment fractured me, but it didn't surprise me. Not fully. Something about him had always smelled of rot beneath the polish. His smile when he toasted us at the engagement. The way her eyes darted when he placed his hand too long on her shoulder. The quiet, urgent phone calls she always took outside, saying just "Dad" when I asked. I ignored it, because love is a blindness we wear willingly. Because I wanted to believe I was marrying her, not them. But the crack widened in my mind that night. After the slap, after the words. Later, when the champagne dulled their laughter, I noticed him whisper something into her ear. She flinched, not with anger, with familiarity, the kind that only comes from a secret too large to bury. My medals felt heavier than bone. I became 2 men after the wedding. The one she saw, the husband who smiled, who touched her hand, who pretended her late-night messages meant nothing. And the other, the investigator in my own home. I timed her calls. I checked the numbers. Always the same private line. Not her father's business office, not a public one. A number tied to a shell company, a number he owned. I watched how her voice softened when she answered. Not wife to husband, not daughter to father, something darker, something blurred. I found emails, not explicit but dripping with implication. Travel bookings that matched hers, suites under false names. My hands never shook, my breath never quickened. I cataloged everything like evidence at a crime scene. And in between, she kissed me goodnight. She pressed her body against mine in the dark, pretending. Or maybe believing I was the one pretending. I waited, calculated. Because truth, once buried, needs a precise excavation. One wrong cut, and it collapses. The DNA test arrived on a Thursday. Her hairbrush, his discarded napkin at a board dinner, the discreet courier service. The results were clean. No margins of error. The child she carried, our honeymoon surprise, wasn't mine. It was his, her father's. I stared at the printout until the black letters lost their shape. That night, I placed it gently on her pillow. No words, just paper between us. She entered the room, saw it, stopped breathing. Her lips trembled, reaching for excuses that never formed. I didn't speak. I didn't rage, because silence is sharper than accusation. It forces the guilty to carve their own noose. She broke first. Tears, pleas, shaking hands. I watched her fall apart and felt nothing. The following weekend, her father hosted a gala. Another room of glass, chandeliers, and hollow power. I attended in uniform. Every medal in place. The same ones he tried to strip from me. I walked directly to him. No hesitation. I handed him the report, the DNA test, in front of his board, his friends, his empire. He read it. His hand slipped on the glass he held. The silence of 280 guests returned. The same silence as my wedding, but heavier. A silence that suffocated him, not me. I leaned in close, voice low, calm. "Do you still find these medals disgraceful? Or just the man who wears them?" He didn't answer. He couldn't. His power, his image, his bloodlines, every mask cracked at once. Her eyes searched for me across the room. I never looked back. I left before midnight, alone. No dramatic exit, no slammed doors. Just the quiet shuffle of polished shoes on marble. The city outside was colder than I remembered, but it matched the temperature inside my chest. I felt no grief, no anger, only clarity. They had built a prison of deception and invited me inside. I had burned it down with truth and walked away untouched. Marriage ended, blood exposed, legacies shattered. My war was never on the battlefield. It was here, and I won.